Hi, it's Lucy and I'm delighted to be back with more Magnificent Roots, a celebration of everything purpose, in life, in work and in society too. Last week I had the absolute pleasure of being a judge for the Lloyds Bank British Business Excellence Awards in the Purpose Beyond Profit category, and what an incredible experience it was. Myself and my fellow judges got to meet 10 fantastic businesses who all very much had purpose running through them. And I thought that you'd like to hear, what do the most purposeful organisations in Britain have in common? One thing that was really obvious to me was that all of them had purpose truly baked into the core business. And this is critical. Purpose is not something that they treat as something on the side or something that's a nice to have. It's absolutely crucial to the business and it's running through every aspect. So it might be helpful to share this model that I shared with you previously to talk about some of the examples that we had. Internally, first of all, strategy was absolutely defined by purpose. So many of these founders talked to us about noticing one big problem in society, and their entire business strategy was built around trying to solve that particular problem. Some of the other businesses weren't always purposeful businesses, and they saw themselves as being quite a normal business, shall we say, a typical traditional business that was maybe focused on profit first and foremost. But they'd then seen the opportunity to become extremely purposeful and to actually pursue broader value rather than profit alone. And they've then taken the opportunity to pivot and to put purpose right at the centre of their strategy. So that was fantastic to see. When we think about governance and processes, there were loads of brilliant examples about how this was baked in for these organisations as well. So one of them shared with us how they have a process for taking on work, taking on clients. And actually they've turned down hundreds of thousands of pounds of work that they didn't see as being aligned with their purpose. And that's incredible because the impact that had was that it showed their customers, it showed their employees, all of their stakeholders, how seriously they were taking their purpose. And actually it ended up resulting in them attracting a whole load of new clients who were in fact very purposefully aligned. Another organisation shared with us an example of how they've baked purpose into their rewards and incentives. So when their people are demonstrating the right behaviours in line with their purpose, they're actually rewarded in a financial sense as well, which is another real fantastic example to see. In terms of leadership, one thing that was really obvious to me on the day was that all of these founders and CEOs were really turning up with an absolute energy for purpose. They were sharing brilliant stories of how their own personal purpose connected to the business's purpose and why it was so important to them personally that they were delivering this broader impact. And that ability to really storytell around purpose and to really inspire other people is absolutely critical, I think, in terms of leading, founding or running a purposeful organisation. And actually you need that at all leadership levels as well. When we think about how purpose was showing up externally for these businesses, one thing again that they had in common, all of the products and services that they were bringing to the market were inherently purposeful. So it's not that they're just creating profit and then they're taking a portion of the profits and giving to charity, although some of them are giving to charity as well. But the main thing is that the actual products and services that they are creating are in themselves purposeful. So one example might be in the care home system. We heard from one organisation that was specifically creating care experiences for customers or patients who are typically underserved by the existing system. So that might be patients coming from a particular demographic, for example, or it might be a particular type of patient. Another example we heard was of a sustainable clothing brand that not only made sure that those products were truly sustainable all the way down the supply chain, but also was really empowering their customer. And that sense of empowerment was built into the actual product and in the way that they go to market in terms of how they engage with their customers and so on. Another fabulous example I saw was about really broad thinking on stakeholder engagement. So there were some lovely examples here. We heard of one organisation that was engaging local community and customers coming together to do what they called rubbish networking, which was around both addressing problem of rubbish in their natural environment and also networking at the same time. Really lovely example. Another one that we heard was about a founder of a sustainable clothing brand who had found an opportunity to go into schools and local communities and teach those local people and local children how to mend and repair their clothes, giving them actually a skill set to be able to do that for themselves. So some really brilliant ways of thinking about how to engage much more broadly with stakeholders. So in summary, it was a really fantastic day and lots to be learned and inspired by from all of these very purposeful businesses. I really encourage you to follow their stories and to look out for who wins when it's announced next month. No spoilers here, but in my mind they're all winners anyway, because they're all doing such a fantastic job to genuinely live purpose day to day in their organisations, and I hope their stories will inspire other businesses to do the same as well. It's been lovely to speak to you today. Do drop me a comment and let me know what are the most kind of inspiring or exceptional purpose-led businesses that you know of. I'd love to hear of them. See you soon. Bye.